Hey, good morning, America. What's up in nuclear news? Well, if you watch the press out there, you'll see lots of ads. They're infomercials, but they're called news stories about nuclear reactors. But they're infomercials. They're trying to normalize and sell this shit to us and put it in your neighborhood. Because, oh, neato, look, science and then the tinfoil fucking hat stuff. All you have to do is look at Fukushima. Fukushima is the site of a nuclear weapons release. Up to 20% of the fuel rods, the spent fuel rods, is plutonium. Even more than that, because reactor 3 had mixed oxide fuels in it, and we still don't know what the status of that is. We know plutonium was released from Fukushima. Pu. I can find the isotopes for you if you'd like to. They're in the release inventory. Very well nuanced and hidden and ignored, because guess what? That is one of the deadliest elements known to man. It's not normal in our environment. It's a man-made pollutant with a half-life that could care less about us. So frankly, I get annoyed when I see these sales brochures coming out as news articles saying what great things they are. They're advertisements. They're unpaid advertisements in a game bigger than you and I could ever get involved in. So push away this sales hype, please. But what's going on right now in your state legislatures is a move to change the rules for a nuclear reactor to be put into an area. A little nuclear bomb sitting in your neighborhood, just waiting for that one bad day. Right now, society is waiting for the next nuclear accident. You know that. They've happened about every 10 years, a major nuclear incident that we're aware of. Then there's all the subtle little ones about, weapons tests and Russian missiles and North Korea and Israel. So this very profitable game goes on and on and on. And it's another, you are insulting my intelligence. You're insulting our intelligence. I didn't learn this shit. I didn't make this stuff up. This is how it works. You can see it and you can find it. So in your state legislatures, what's happening is they're trying to change the laws regarding who gets to approve the installation of a nuclear site. So what they tried to do is make your county seat able to approve a nuclear reactor. So all of a sudden, into your county politics comes $1,000 bundles of gift certificates to politicians. This is exactly how it works. And all of a sudden, that smell of money overwhelms these politicians. That nuclear plant is going to bring 100 high-paying jobs into an area. Cool, right? Hey, jobs are good. If that plant has an accident in the county that approved it, and it leaks into the next county, what's the game? See, this is the divide and conquer feature. Especially faith loves this, because the war between their gods rages on still, and they want to inflict that on all of us. But that's only a small part of what I'm speaking to, but that is an insidious part. This industry, the sciences, proved decades ago. Everything I've spoken to, I don't quote offhand. Typically, I do make assertions, and I put my opinion in here, but see, this thought is for future generations. In nuclear pollution conversations, there's a talk about the half-life, the decay half-life of those elements. How long it takes to change, release a high-energy particle that may cause a cancer, and the particle changes into something else inside your body. Some of them change into leads. Some of them change into mercuries, which we know are toxic elements. And the list goes on. Remember, I've got 100 and something isotopes loose out there. I've got to consider the actions that each one of them can do to a general population, and guess you're going to get 10 more cancers. I'm guessing 10 in 1,000, 10 in a million. What's the number? Now, that number is out there. There is an estimate somewhere. There are these predictions, because if the society can't treat this, people are going to die and get pissed off about it. So, try to understand this nuclear conversation. One of the important aspects here, I mentioned half-lives. One of the things we've studied for decades is something called a biological half-life. Now, this isn't your nuclear stuff. We're talking about the same type of thing, only different. It's how long something is resident in your body in a biological form. We know that tobacco picks up strontium-90. Strontium-90 causes lung cancers and other diseases. We know that. It's proven because we test for strontium-90 in tobacco in a lot of places. Some places, who lets that guard down? Who opens that door up? So this half-life of something in your body is a whole nother piece of this conversation. When you eat something, that calcium content in whatever you eat goes to replacing materials in your body. Your body constantly does this. It takes materials in and flushes old materials out. It rebuilds itself constantly over our lifetime. So the materials, the elements come into the body and they stay resident for a certain period of time. That time, plus the pollutant that's in that time, which is part of that time factor, is what's causing you risk. It's causing the cancers to increase in your neighborhood. It's causing many diseases to increase in your neighborhoods, because the symptom of radiation poisoning, the symptoms of chemical poisoning, remember these things, polonium is an output of these reactors. Polonium has been used to kill people in spy movies. That's the nature of nuclear conversations. There are so many details. But the biggest tool in corporations' toolbox is divide and conquer. Question: don't allow large studies to be done. Push it back to the state, because the state really doesn't have the resources and the money to do it correctly. Push it back to a county to do the environmental impact analysis. Push it back to the county to have to train, and the counties surrounding to have to train and purchase all the equipment that their emergency responders need. That's another $1 million, $2, $3, $5 million in firefighting equipment, in training for people to be able to go. I had occasions where I spent more time in a classroom learning safety procedures to enter a chemical plant than I actually did work in the plant. I've spent 4 to 6 hours in training classrooms to be able to go do 2 hours worth of work in a plant somewhere. And it was billing time, billable hours. Well, bit long, ramble on, know your enemy, know your friends, know your allies. That's the hard part, allies. I'm not saying this like you want me to, so steal my words and thoughts. They're ours.